Welcome back, guys. So we are returning with my beautiful girlfriend Yvette. For those of you who follow the channel for a little bit, we did a Q&A peak off season. It's pretty brutal, isn't it? It's a bit fat and ugly and out of breath. So we're back again. I've dragged her in, kicking and screaming. She's very camera shy, despite looking like a supermodel. So we're going to do a Q&A.
How am I camera shy?
Well, you've been moaning about this enough, haven't you?
Yeah, just because only because of this formal setup.
Oh, right, okay. Which she wanted to do it in the kitchen. Anyway, let's not have a domestic. Let's not have a domestic before we start. I don't fit on the stools. Let's go. So Q&A. Thank you for those of you who sent in the questions, and we are going to provide the answers. So I've got a few. I haven't really put them in any order. Let's start with. Should we start with a good one or a quick one?
Why don't you run down the list and then you're not going to miss any out?
Let's just do what Yvette says. Who gets more attention online and out in public?
I don't think we've ever compared. I don't think we've ever taken the time to say how much attention do you get, or when we're out we don't really go looking or observing. So
I know that when we are in the gym and we sometimes are in the gym together, we never train together. I know that Yvette gets a lot of looks from men because I see you gentlemen. And online, well, she certainly gets a lot of DMs. I think you get less than you used to.
no, I just don't tell you all about them because it's pointless, isn't it? We discussed all this. I used to tell you about them all, but now I just leave them in there.
Now she just tells me if she thinks they're significant, like it's someone I might know, which is always funny because if I do know them, then, well, black mark next to your name. I would personally say that she gets more attention, generally. I think, and God bless my gay fans, I do think I get a lot of online gay attention, which attention's attention. I appreciate you, and to be fair, 99% of you are very respectful. Some of you are absolute filth bags and you can get blocked. But yeah, I suppose I think on the whole Yvette does. But then I think neither of us are like arrogant or think we're the world, so we don't really kind of look for it. And I think because of that we don't notice it. We just get on with things. And no matter what we're doing, no matter where we are, it's not really kind of overly important. So on to the next one. This is one where you can go in at me. What's the worst thing about Josh on prep? It's a big list.
No, it's not that. It's just that there's nothing that really stands out to me. I think the only thing is occasionally the way that obviously you're very withdrawn, and unless you've experienced prep with someone or you understand what prep is about, you could kind of interpret that the wrong way. And luckily enough, I'm able to interpret the right way and know that it's just because you're tired and it's nothing to do with me. However, I'm still human, I'm still female, I'm still your partner, so I'm gonna still generate doubts, but you're always reassuring. I think that's just the hardest thing for me, because the rest of the time I just do my own thing. And obviously, I will say this, but obviously, not that I'm bothered because I live in a beautiful home, but just the kind of restriction to do more. Like before you started prep, we would go out for a date night, or we would go and get a coffee on a Sunday, or whatever, and there was a little bit more flexibility in that, but at the minute there's not. But it's okay because I'm quite busy myself, but I wouldn't like that to be something that was all the time, because I don't feel that we can enjoy our relationship as much.
Yeah, and I think for anyone watching, please don't feel like you have to be like me. When I'm on prep, I am on prep. Like she said, kind of going for a coffee. Now, a lot of you will be like, why the fuck can't you go for a coffee? There is no reason I can't go for a coffee. But the times, I suppose, when we have that availability, I'll be honest, I'm normally that bollocksed and tired that the effort of that, and this is me being probably a shitbag, is too much. And again, I suppose, knowing how I am on prep, this is the first year we've lived together while I've been on prep. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder for her, because I think in the past, being withdrawn and not having your partner there, it could be quite hard to I suppose understand when I'm being quiet, because you can't see me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas at least now I can reassure you real time. But you know, this is one of the reasons, and there are multiple reasons, and this certainly is not the only reason, but one of the reasons why, for me, competing has reached that point where, in so many areas, it's not worth it anymore. Like, once this year is done, like, there is nothing more genuinely that I enjoy than going out for a date night, enjoying some good food, having some time away from the dogs. We love them, but just having that time where it's just you and me is like so valuable, and I do miss it. And I think, and I'll touch upon all this at the end because there is something I want to say with regards to prep for people kind of in that environment. But like, it is tough. The best thing you can do is be kind of communicate as best as possible with your partner about how you're feeling and stuff. But I'm very lucky to have a very, very understanding and also kind of self-sufficient partner who can just crack the fuck on and not necessarily overthink and bust my balls for just not quite being myself. So thank you, baby.
It's okay.
Keep going. 5 more weeks. Well, 8 more weeks total. Peak off-season Josh or peak shredded Josh? Now, I suppose we can take that in terms of personality and physique. What do you prefer? Chunky monkey or a shredded bean?
Personality, off-season.
All day.
All day. You're just more loving, more attentive, more thoughtful. And although you feel like you're lazy because you're heavier and you struggle to do things, you still have got like the will to try. Where at the minute you don't have the will to try.
Yeah.
Physique, somewhere in between. Not stage shredded, walnut bum and all that malarkey. Not too over large that I know it's having an effect on your health, so we can't go for a walk without you sounding like you need oxygen.
I still sound like that now.
No, it's nowhere near as bad.
Is it not? Okay.
No. So yeah, that's my kind of take on it. And I think you'd say the same that when I used to compete, the other way around. I think.
Well, I've got good news for you, babe. You're going to get all of that once I'm done competing.
Right.
So I'm going to stay in good shape. I'm going to stay fitter, and I won't be my cuntish self in prep.
It's great.
So much for you to look forward to.
Yeah.
Lucky girl. Is Yvette, this is quite a funny one, is Yvette worried Josh will roll over in his sleep and crush her?
Well, considering that you've watched me a few times and
That's not a question.
No, I know it's not, but listen, I'm fully aware of your actions in bed. And you also have great difficulty in getting the duvet off me, so I don't think you're going to roll over and squash me because...
This woman has a vice-like grip in night. I don't know how she does it, but when I want the... Apollo's feeling left out. When I want to do that bed in night, sometimes I have to dislocate my shoulder trying to pull it from her. But in terms of kind of crushing her, that's not going to happen. I do twitch if I'm not sleeping particularly well, and she has felt the wrath of my elbow, hand, arm to face. Takes it like a trooper. But we've not had that in a while, have we?
No, it's usually when you're snoozing on the sofa and we're watching a film and you decide to just lash really, out and whack me in the face.
Really
just out of nowhere.
Knocked her there.
Hello. No.
Yeah. Right. Interesting one. A little bit nosy here. I've heard sex drive is impacted on prep. Is this true?
To a degree, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that it's more about the lack of energy to be able to do it as opposed to getting it to work, if that makes sense. So, obviously, like, in off-season, I feel like we have great sex life, like rabbits, it's great. And then the in-between bit, it's even great, but, like, these kind of last few weeks now, it's a little bit like, if you're basically offering it, I'm going to take it wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, because it's like...
I'm a lucky man.
It's like, the girl has needs, I need a service, so I've got to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. Like, again, exactly like she said, the sexual attraction isn't, but, like, the energy really is. And, like, we spoke about this, was it only the other night? Like, there was a moment in the day where I had, like, a flash of sexual energy, but it was that quick and, like, over, not in terms of the sex, although that is quick too, that I didn't even get to act upon it before I was feeling, like, tired again and didn't really I couldn't be asked, and it sounds terrible. And I think hopefully this will help some people who are maybe on prep for the first time and kind of wondering what's normal. You know, I've touched wood. I've never we've not gone through an extended period at any point without having sex.
No.
I think that's a really important part of relationships in general, but certainly our relationship, because it keeps that physical contact and that proximity to each other. So yes, it definitely is impacted. I think there are others who suffer worse, or maybe they just need to get a hotter girlfriend.
I think just it's a bit harsh. I think just touching on that as well from the opposite person, like myself, again, you kind of start questioning, is it me? Is it because they don't find me attractive anymore? Is it? And I think, you know, communication's key. It's like, I'll say to him, do you still love me? Yeah, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's just the fact that I'm absolutely knackered. And I think it's really important to get that together and be honest about it, you know, rather than making excuses, like, you know, I've got a sore tummy, or I just be honest and say, I'm really fucked, I can't do it.
And I think, like, with the communication, like, when you're in prep, you know how you feel. So, like, I love her unquestionably, and I suppose because I feel so strongly like that, I almost, you can kind of get to prep, you're withdrawn, you forget that the other person still needs to hear it. So, you know, there is less affectionate language, there is less affection in general. And in my mind, you know, nothing has changed, but it's just, I suppose, actions and words. So like she says, like, there are times when she just needs that positive reinforcement, which is completely normal. Like, I know when you've had, like, periods of high stress, or if you've been ill before, there's come a point where I've been like, do you still, like, feel the same for me? Do you know what I mean? Like, so again, remembering that just because you think something doesn't mean the other person, like, knows it all the time. It is really kind of important. Do you both have, I quite like this question, do you both have any nerdy interests that you both share? No, she's not a fucking nerd. I wish she was. I'm working on it, but no. However, we did make some progress with Harry Potter. She was adamant against Harry Potter to begin with, but she has watched 6 of the 8 films. We were on a good run, and then we haven't finished them off.
No.
We'll restart them post-prep. I'll force it to happen.
And we did a Harry Potter trip.
Yeah, she did arrange Harry Potter, the Woods one, wasn't it? That was great.
And I did enjoy it, to be fair.
Yeah, so I think there's potential. I'll schedule a few more Harry Potter based dates in the future and see if we can get her fully on side. But apart from that, no. I'm in a bit of a Lego phase at the minute. What are we saying about that?
Yeah, well,
any chance of you getting into that?
No, absolutely not. And I don't want yours to grow anymore either.
It's only a prep thing, I think. Anyway, so no. Right, nice quick short one here. Well, actually, I don't know. It's interesting. Are you married?
Officially, yes.
I think obviously the question is, are we married? However, for those who don't know our history.
No, I am married but going through a divorce, so it's been a very lengthy process from one thing to another, but we're almost there now, so...
So once she's out of that, I can put a ring on it. I might wait a little bit, give her a bit of time to be a non-married woman.
No, I don't want to be.
All right, well, I might need a bit of time to save up for a ring, but anyway.
No more Lego.
Just being honest.
Get me a Lego ring.
I'll do you a Lego ring.
Yeah.
There we go. Best of both.
Let's do that.
No, but in the future it will happen, and you know, if the channel's doing well enough, maybe you'll get a little insight into it. The best and worst parts of dating a bodybuilder, just generally.
I mean, I think we've touched on it before, isn't
Structure, sacrifice.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously
lack of spontaneity.
Yeah, the deeper you go into that prep, but especially for you because you are very much like give all to it. So, but I know you and I know how you work, and you know it's my choice to be in a relationship with you, knowing all that. And you know I can't go saying, oh, well, I don't like this, I don't like that, because it's part of who you are.
Yeah, and I suppose you met me like this as well.
Yeah.
It might be different if I start getting into bodybuilding while we were together, and then all of a sudden there's like a massive shift in the dynamic of the relationship.
Yeah, but I think if you love someone and it's a good relationship and they want to do something and it's not going to be forever, it's important to be a little bit more open-minded and supportive. Because, Apollo, I know that you would support me in things and have done before when I've competed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like I like relationships, and this is why we work so well, where the other person has an interest. Like, I think it's great when two people love each other completely, but I do think that at some point, if that is all you have, there's going to be an element of stress because you're basically dependent completely on the other person. Whereas like one of the many things I love about Yvette is like she's extremely business focused, she has her own businesses, she's constantly driving for progression within them. She trains herself, she takes good care of her body, she takes pride in her appearance, and they're all for her. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm here or not, she's doing that for her. So, you know, her day will happily be a good day without my involvement in it, which I like. Again, some people might be like, oh, that sounds a bit cold. Like, obviously, I'd like to think that I add to your day, but it's not the be all and end all. Like, she'll have a good day if she wants to have a good day with me or not. And I just think that kind of, it makes a healthy relationship, especially when I have my passions, my bodybuilding, my business. I think if one person is all in on something and the other person is just all in on that one person, there's not enough kind of to go around. So yeah, again, something to consider in a healthy relationship. We're kind of, yeah, I'd say we're lucky to have it, but then it's like with everything, you fall for the person and you stay with the person for a multitude of reasons, and we just click perfectly well. Right, real side quest here, short and sweet, I'd like to think. And actually, this one, just to clarify, was not from one of my followers. This was one of her followers, the dirty bastard, or bitch, I'm not sure. Would you do porn?
No.
No. We do in the bedroom ourselves, but we don't have a camera there. Though, if ever you see an OnlyFans page, and we spoke about this last time pop up, make sure you subscribe because it means we're in desperate need of some money. But until then, we are quite happy to be porn stars for each other and for nobody else. Agreed?
Yes.
Agreed. And then one final one, this isn't really a question, this is just quite a sweet message off of someone that follows me. Why are you such a hot couple? She looks perfect.
Oh, that's very nice.
That was really nice. And you know what? That was from a girl.
Oh, was it?
That was, yeah. I don't know who it was, but I noticed it was from a girl. So
high five.
she looks perfect. She is perfect. She is perfect in so many ways. And I'd like to finish this video just from my side of things, highlighting like a lot about prep, but also taking the opportunity because, as I just said, like day to day, it's very rare, I think, for a lot of couples to fully acknowledge and appreciate and kind of praise their partner. So I'm going to just spend a few minutes now saying some things that like I'm extremely grateful for this woman, because prep is hard. It's a choice, of course it is. Everything I do within prep is a choice. But like with anything, if you're progressing, if you're pursuing perfection, if you're pursuing success, the sacrifice comes alongside that. Now, one thing I never want to sacrifice is our relationship, but there are elements of that do get sacrificed in prep. The love, the affection, the kind, or the level of love and affection displayed, the time together, and having someone who can accept that, understand that, be patient with that, like it's so important, and it makes me a better bodybuilder because, you know, stress is a massive part of bodybuilding. If you're stressed from any avenue, it's going to impact you. And I am so lucky to be able to just sit back and do my thing and not have that stress of having someone kind of nipping at my heels, nagging me all the time. You know, I know that when she brings something up, it's a valid thing. She's not going to just kind of mention anything, you know, just for the sake of it offhand here and there. Like if there's an issue and she'll bring it up, then I know it's an issue and I know it's important to address. But they're really like, you know, I could gush on for ages about everything. I'm going to try and keep it sort of prep related. But having someone who does do that for you, who does support you, and you know, support comes in many ways. Like I've bodybuilded, that's a fucking right way of saying it. I've competed for 12 years. You know, I've done the majority of that on my own, and never experienced kind of like the emotional support and the level of just, you know, having someone there, you know, she'll listen to me talk about what I'm going to do next week with my food, and she don't, like, realistically, you know, I don't think she really cares. She certainly can't add anything to it, but just having someone there as a sounding board, although she probably doesn't realise it, is so, like, important to me. You know, I can say, oh, my weight's doing this is happening, I feel like this. You know, and I just need to speak it out loud and speak it out to someone who cares enough to listen. I don't need anything more than that. But that is massively kind of undervalued, I think, from you. So I want you to appreciate how amazing you are. And I want to say thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Just on that note though, relationships do work two ways, and in the past, when I've had very difficult periods in my life, you've been there to support me and stay strong for me. So I've never forgotten that either. And I think, you know, it's at times like this where I'm like, well, it's for him, it's important for him. He's always been there when I've needed him, so it's my turn to be there for you, whether I sit and listen to you say stuff or whether I actually support you in other ways, like maintaining the house or taking care of the boys.
I mean, that's a whole separate kettle of fish. That's a full-time job. This woman is fucking phenomenal. Yeah. You know the house tour? Go back to that video, watch it, like it, etc. Our house then was like just newly moved in. It looks even better, even cleaner now. It's fucking incredible. I live in a show home. And on that note, the dogs are saying they've had enough.
The board.
But thank you very much for putting that up with me. Thank you very much for doing this video.
You're welcome.
I hope you guys did enjoy it. Obviously a lot of prep chat there, and hopefully for some guys and girls on prep in relationships that may have helped a little bit. I'm always open to messages, to comments, if you have any kind of specific things where you're like, is this normal on prep? I will do my best to help. You know, I speak to my clients a lot about this, more the psychological side of things on prep, a lot. And if I could be of value, I will. But yeah, thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next video, and please like, comment, subscribe, if not for me, for this beautiful woman. Thank you very much.